Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, visit them at a Hamfest near you or call 920-435-2973 or online at pl-259.com.
It's Ham Radio with Neil Rapp. Here we go. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Call in, let's talk. Neil's your guy. Ham Talk Live. Here we go on Ham Talk Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live, finally. It's episode number 102, recognizing our young hams, recorded live on Thursday, February 15th, 2018. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, and we'll take your calls live in just a few minutes. And my apologies to you all. Windows Update decided that it was a good time to update and started 40 minutes before the show, and here we are 20 minutes late. So my apologies to you, but hopefully we'll bring you some entertainment and some information tonight. Last week on the show, we had a younger ham, anyway, Dr. Nathaniel Frissell, W2NAF. And he was here talking about the science that was learned from the solar eclipse QSO party. So if you missed that, you can check that out at hamtalklive.com or on any of those podcast apps like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeart Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, SoundCloud, any of those. And we're also on YouTube. And if you have some questions or comments for Don, get those ready to go. And after we talk for a little bit, you'll be able to give us a call. I'll go ahead and give you that telephone number. It's 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Or you can Skype us at Ham Talk Live. Or you can send a question via Twitter. And our Twitter handle is at Ham Talk Live. So I'll be back with Don. And no, Eric Buttinger said, what, did Don break it again? No, it wasn't Don at this time. So he didn't break it. But we'll be back, and we'll talk to Don right after this word from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you in part by Tower Electronics. Tower Electronics has been the ham's dime store since 1978. When you need connectors, mobile and handheld antennas, cables, or adapters, visit Scott or Jill at a Hamfest near you. Or you can order online at pl-259.com or call 920-435-2973. Stock up on those supplies like PL259 and N connectors, SMA adapters, audio cables, soldering supplies, mobile antennas, and ham sticks. Their silver-plated N connectors are even used on the International Space Station. Tower Electronics carries MFJ, Comet, Daiwa, OPEC, Workman, and Ham Pro products. And don't miss their 0% off sale going on now. Tower Electronics, online at pl-259.com. Proud to sponsor this episode of Ham Talk Live.
At Ham Talk Live, we have $1 million request guarantee. You give us $1 million, and we'll do a show about whatever ham topic you request. Guaranteed.
Thanks to Scott and Jill at Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show tonight to help bring you Ham Talk Live. February 24th, they're in Dalton, Florida. And then March 3rd, Cave City, Kentucky. And March 18th, Toledo, Ohio. And, of course, they're always open at pl-259.com. Or you can call 920-435-2973. Tell them you heard it on Ham Talk Live. Well, daring enough to return to the show yet again is the most famous ham radio operator in Picayune, Mississippi that's on amateur radio Newsline. It's Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. You know him from Newsline and Ham Nation. His day job is working at the iHeart Media radio stations in New Orleans, producing commercials, and formerly an on-air personality. And he's a native of Shawnee, Oklahoma, first licensed in 1995. He's an extra class license holder and an active volunteer examiner. And at Hamvention last year, you might have seen him standing beside himself. In fact, we put a picture of that thanks to Kevin Trotman, N5PRE. A picture of Don totally standing beside himself. Good evening, Don. Welcome to the show.
Well, it was until I got here. How you doing?
Oh, well, I'm doing better now that Windows 10 decided to load.
Yeah, well, you know what's fun is when we're doing Ham Nation, when like 5 minutes before time for them to call me, when Skype decides to do an update.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, yeah, and of course they change everything. The last Skype update, they changed everything completely. And I don't use the Skype that's built into Windows 10. I use the standalone Skype, and it changed everything. And so here I am trying to do the show, and you know everything is different all of a sudden. So yeah, I feel your pain.
Yeah, I've fought the Skype battles before, and Skype finally settled down, and now Windows 10 gets me. So you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what can you do?
You can't win.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I saw something about Skype was going to have to rebuild the whole app all the way up. No, I always use a classic version. The Windows 10 version, there's a bunch of stuff it doesn't do right, and it just didn't play well.
Well, what can you do? We're at the mercy of the technology that we're handed.
Yeah, we are. Well, we're here to talk about recognizing our young hams tonight, and so we wanted to kind of run down some of those possibilities, and you've got some of those, and then we want to hit the big one here in a little bit. But
speaking of young hams, I'm in the K9 SOU log for School Club Roundup.
Yes, you are.
I was off work for Tuesday for Mardi Gras, and I said, well, you know, that's what I'm going to do. So I think I contacted 3 different schools. So you were the first one that I looked for. So there you go.
Yeah, and I think I was on a pizza run at the moment, so I missed you.
Oh no! Well, there's what
I saw you in the logbook, but
yeah,
I think I was.
I think by the time I get home from work, you guys are done, so kind of makes it tough to pick that up. But anyway.
Well, thanks to Carolyn Lisandru, KC9URR, for coming in and letting me go a couple hours early to get this all ready, so that way we could start on time. And,
yeah, she's a sweetheart, isn't she?
And then it didn't start on time, but yes, she is. And she had Play-Doh on tonight. She got Play-Doh to get on and make some contacts. So yeah,
awesome.
That seems to be the way that we do it. Is we get a kid to log and get him on there, and we get him to make a few. So he enjoys it once he gets on there. But we have to twist his arm a little bit.
Well, you know. Whatever works.
So, yeah, School Club Roundup, one more day tomorrow, the big finish. So, if you haven't got on yet, please do that. We'll take your calls as well as all these other schools that are on the air. Well, we've got a bunch of things going on. We're actually a little late for the ARRL scholarships because those closed on January 31st, but I did put the links to a lot of these things in the description, so you can catch that, and we'll put those out on social media as well. But arrl.org/scholarship-program has all the ARRL scholarships, but it's not all over yet because the Foundation for Amateur Radio has their scholarships that they funnel through there, including QCWA, among others. And those are due by April 30th. So if you go to farweb.org, You can click on the scholarship information page there. And again, we put the link in there. And then Carol Perry, WB2MGP, has the Young Ham Lends a Hand Award. And she's collecting nominations to recognize a young licensed person 19 years of age or younger who's gone above and beyond to help others. And maybe it's helping with an antenna install, showing ham radio to others, helping with emergency communications, or it doesn't even have to be ham radio related, but it has to be a licensed ham. And the winner receives that award at the Dayton Hamvention Youth Forum from the Radio Club of America Youth Activities Initiative, and a $100 stipend provided by the Quarter Century Wireless Association. So if you know someone deserving of that, send that to Carol at wb2mgp@gmail.com by April 1st. So that's another one. The ARRL has the Hiram Percy Maxim Award. That's for an ARRL member under 21 that contributes to ham radio community both locally and nationally. And those nominations go to the section manager, your ARRL section manager, and the section manager has to have those in by March 31st. So get them a little earlier than that so they can send those in. That's $1,500. And Don, you know a couple of people who've won that award.
Yes, we've had some Newsline winners that have won that. So, yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, we had Chris Bro and Skylar Fennell recently.
Yep.
That both won both of those, so that's pretty cool. The Dave Coulter Youth DX Adventure. Now, this one's not necessarily an award or scholarship, but this is a chance to go somewhere.
Yeah,
and
Curacao. What a great place to go to operate. Yeah. Where did you go to operate? Oh, I went to Curacao. God, what a great place to go.
Yeah, last year it was Costa Rica.
No slouchy there. That was gorgeous. Yeah. The pictures that I saw from Costa Rica was just amazing.
So the deadline to apply for that is February 28th, and they're going to PJ2T. So on top of Curacao, it's PJ2T they're going to, for goodness sake. So
yeah.
By February 28th, those applications have to be in, and that's qsl.net/N6JRL. So if you want to go on a youth de-expedition, there's your chance to go. And again, we know some of those guys that have been able to go on that, and girls.
Yeah.
I think they had the whole Lee family down there at one point.
So.
It's Saba. And Ruth Willett was down there.
It's a great opportunity. I mean, it's amazing what the Youth DX Association does. I mean, it's life changing. I mean, it's just a handful of people that are going to get that opportunity, and to do that at a young age. I mean, God, it's a memory that you'll take to your grave, and it can be literally life changing to experience something like that.
Well, I know it was life changing for Chris Bro.
Yes.
Because Chris learned how to make grilled cheese.
Yeah, with some kind of special bread down there too, which was amazing. Yeah.
So
Chris is such a cool kid.
He keeps talking about this grilled cheese. I think next time we go over there, we're gonna have to.
You have to import some of that bread, though. I think, aren't we?
Yeah, probably
to import
so.
Some of that bread. Yeah,
probably so. Well. So those are some other opportunities, but the big one we want to talk about tonight, as we commonly do, is the Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award, which is the Bill Pasternak Memorial Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award, and talk about Newsline and the fine, upstanding sponsors that take care of that in August at the Huntsville Ham Fest. And talked to Mark Brown recently, N4BCV, the new chairman of the Ham Fest, and we're going to have him on Ham Talk Live a couple of weeks before the Ham Fest. And Don, the nominating period is coming up soon, so tell us what you can right now.
It is. March 1st is when we are planning on opening up nominations. Nominations go for 90 days, so the month of March, April, and May. And then the months of June and July, we send that to the nominating committee, and they pore over them and decide who the most deserving young person is. And then we all meet together the third weekend in August in Huntsville, Alabama. It's exactly 3 months after Dayton. Dayton is, or Xenia, whatever you want to call it, Hamvention is the third weekend in May, and Huntsville is always the third weekend in August. So it's exactly 90 days or 3 months, however you want to gauge that, to the Huntsville Ham Fest in Huntsville, Alabama, at a great venue, the Von Braun Center. And the Young Ham of the Year Award started in 1986. It was the brainchild of the late Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, to try to promote education and youth in ham radio. And it took off. CQ Communications, CQ Magazine, is a corporate sponsor, as well as Yazoo is a corporate sponsor. And we also have Heil Sound as a corporate sponsor. And we have our friends, the Hohensies, Emmett and Rochelle from Radio Waves Antennas as corporate sponsors as well. And we all meet together to celebrate youth and ham radio at the Huntsville Ham Fest, the third weekend in August at the Ham Fest, and honor a very deserving and amazing young person who has done something very cool with amateur radio. And I've been involved with it since I got involved with Newsline the same year I got licensed in 95. So I've known every one of these kids since 1995, and it seems like each one is as amazing as each one is. It's like the next one in line just steps it up just that much more. And once you think you've like hit the ceiling of how amazing these kids are, the next one comes along the following year, and you think, holy, just wow! I'm in awe of these young people. They're amazing, and it is truly a privilege to be involved with that, and even more of a privilege now that I am the presenter of the award. It's something I look forward to every year. I don't get to go to Dayton every year. I've never been to Dallas Hamfest. I've never been to Orlando. And I've only missed one Huntsville since 1995, and that was the year that we decided not to give the award. If you've not gone to the Huntsville Hamfest, it is easily one of the top 5 hamfests in the country, and one that you really should not miss.
Yep, sure is, and we'll be previewing that here on this show around the 1st of August or right at the end of July. I forget which one. We have Mark coming on to do that, but we'll preview that a little bit. And this last winner was our friend Chicken with Fries, Marty Soloway, KC1CWF, who just
was on
his way,
to Israel. Yeah,
Israel,
so
yeah.
Bon voyage, or however you say that in Yiddish.
Yeah, I think he made it to Brussels already, and
I commented on his Facebook when he said he was in Brussels. I love their sprouts.
Yeah, their sprouts are great. So I think he's planning on being on the air from over there for a little bit. So
good.
Look forward to hearing from him. And before we go to break here, we've added to the amateur radio family since you were on the show last.
Yes,
we have Tyler, aka Hammy.
Yeah, my son, who, if you went to Huntsville last August, or if you went to Xenia last year, you noticed someone running around in a pink pig suit. He was the Ham Talk Live mascot, Hammy. That was my son, Tyler, who got licensed. Was he licensed at? He got licensed in July. So he was licensed. He was licensed in Huntsville, but not
right.
Yeah, but not in Xenia. But his call is November 7 Tango Mike Whiskey, which the N7 is something from a video game that he plays, and the TMW are his initials. So it was like the perfect call. He loves it. So he doesn't operate much. In fact, the only person he's really talked to is me on a handy talkie. But he's licensed. And he did it, and I'm so proud of him. And he's a high school senior, with a lot of extracurricular activities. So maybe once he gets into college, or if he goes into the military, maybe he'll have a little more free time, because right now he is just stacked up with stuff to do. But yeah, he's my son Tyler is November 7 Tango Mike Whiskey, and I just could not be more proud of him.
Absolutely. Yeah, and senior year, yeah, there's always something that has to be done right away. So
yep.
Hopefully we'll be hearing him on the air some more. But he was a great addition to the cast there at Xenia and at Huntsville, and I got the priceless picture to me. Now he's your son, but working the room at Huntsville in the youth lounge.
Yes.
And I just happened to catch him, and I got a picture of him, with these little kids sitting around building their Morse code bracelets and doing all their stuff. And here's this big pink pig going around, and he's kneeling down, working with the kids and saying hi to them. And
well, he loves kids anyway. He's he is godfather to I think he's 4 now. I think Jack is 4. And anytime we go over to their house, Jack is in his lap or his arms all the time, and Tyler just eats it up. So he's gonna make a really cool dad, I think, one of these days. So he loves kids. So and he just ate that up. I saw that picture as well, and it melts me every time I see it. But knowing that the kind-hearted soul that he is, it doesn't surprise me a bit. And I wasn't around. No one was around to prompt him to do that. It's just something. It's in him. It's who he is. He's a very gentle and very caring young man, and I could not be more proud of him.
Yep, sure is. And I'm still trying to fill his shoes for this year to bring Hammy back. It's just not going to be the same without him.
No, we're not going to Xenia this year, unfortunately. So
yeah, so we're maybe we'll have tryouts or something. I don't know.
Well, there you go. But yeah, you're right. He's
got some big shoes to fill.
Tough act to follow. Is this right? Yeah. Well,
yeah.
There you go.
Sure is. All right. Well, we've talked long enough, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll open up the phone lines and give you a chance to call. We've had some people already trying to call, so we'll give you a chance to do that and talk a little more about recognizing the youth in amateur radio after this word from our friends at the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting right here on Ham Talk Live.
The National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting, located in Westchester, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, is only 2 minutes off I-75. The museum is the former home of the Voice of America Bethany Relay Station. Tours are now available every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see the control room, a 200,000-watt transmitter, and the most comprehensive collection of inventions by the iconic Powell Crosley Jr. Also on display is a huge antique radio exhibit and R.L. Drake's personal collection of most every Drake amateur rig ever made. This is a unique opportunity to see amateur radio in action and have a chance to get on the air from WC8 VOA. Admission is only $5 a person. The museum is located close to historic WLW-AM and tons of shopping and restaurants. Take a trip to the VOA Museum or visit us online at voamuseum.org.
Join the conversation. Call us on voice with Skype at Ham Talk Live or give us a call at 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Now, here's more Ham Talk Live.
Oh, yeah. You're talking ham radio, baby. You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp.
Well, speaking of the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting. They've got a special event coming up with Wayne Martin on Saturday, March 3rd at 7:30 p.m. It's in conjunction with one of the exhibits, Larry Smith Puppets The Works, now on display at the museum. Some of those Saturday morning kids shows from Cincinnati broadcast history. So if you're into all of that, check that out at voamuseum.org. You can find all the information on that. And it's time for your calls. So if you have a call to make to Dawn or comment, you can call us now at 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Or you can Skype us, or you can tweet us. We're at Ham Talk Live on all of those. And Eric Buttinger says, one of the best guests ever and a hero to all hams out there. And says he's looking for tips on teaching his 9-year-old daughter, Reagan. She wants her ham ticket like her dad, so any suggestion on some teaching guides from the King of Jersey into KOJ?
Yeah, well, I can tell you what I did, but first I want to just briefly mention the Museum of Broadcasting there in Westchester, the VOA Museum. If you go there, and well, I should say when you go there, make sure and see if the WC8 VOA station is up and operate that thing. That is a monster station. And we got a chance to operate that a little bit during Hamvention last year, and it was cut short because of thunderstorms coming through. But, man, what a thrill to operate that thing. Okay, so, Eric, I'll tell you what I did, because I don't consider myself a very good teacher. So I went to who I consider to be one of the best ham radio teachers around, and that is Gordon West. If you go on to his website, it's Radio School, I think. Just do a search for Gordon West Radio School, and you can find he has PowerPoint presentations that you can go on there and download, and that's what I used. PowerPoint presentation along with his book that I had Tyler study for, and over the course of about 2 weeks, Tyler and I did about an hour or two at night at the kitchen table. It was Dad's big ham radio school there on the kitchen table, and that's what we did.
I remember doing the flashcard thing and matching those up.
Tyler had the flashcards.
That's how I did that. Yeah.
But he doesn't do well with those. But he did really well with reading, and with me doing the PowerPoint, going along with that and looking things up, and I would go through and of course look at the study plan beforehand, like any proper teacher should. And if there was something that I could find as show and tell, or something, a website that would explain something and maybe illuminate it a little bit more, I did that, and it worked. He passed, so on the first try. So that's what I did, and it worked.
Well, there you go, Eric. There's a couple of ideas, and I agree, Eric. I love all my guests, but I always love having Dawn on the show, and
you're too kind.
So I totally agree.
Obviously.
I'm starved for entertainment, exactly.
Yes.
And apparently there's someone else starved for entertainment, because we have a call on the line. So let's see who we have here. Who is this?
W2COB. It's Ben, K2 CPU.
Hey there, how are you?
CPU. How are you? Yeah. What do you have for us tonight?
Well, I was curious about the Young Ham Award thing. I missed the first couple of minutes of it. Karen told me to listen, and hello to Dawn, and thank you to all you guys for helping publicize our school club and putting on Ham Nation. So,
you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Well, I'll tell you what you do is go to the Newsline website. It's arnewsline.org, amateurradionewsline.org, arnewsline.org, and you'll see a button at the top, YHOTY, for Young Ham of the Year. And coming up on
Why Hottie.
Yeah, Why Hottie. Yahudi was another way, however you feel like pronouncing it. Whenever nominations do open up, that's where you'll find the nominating form, and everything is spelled out on the nominating form, and you just you have 3 months to get that back to us, either electronically or via the mail. But make sure that you fill out everything that's on there. It's all important, but it's all there on the nominating form, which you will find beginning March 1st. They're on the YHOTY tab at arnewsline.org.
Okay, I'll have to look out for that.
There you go.
So, yep.
Okay, Ben. Well, thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben. Good to talk to you.
And
Yep.
he's been on School Club Roundup. He's been texting me all week and got his West Islips High School going and
good. Yeah,
had
we
him on
covered
Newsline.
covered that in Newsline, and I also included that on the Ham Nation headlines video that was on Ham Nation last night. So good stuff.
Yeah, it is. We haven't been doing too great because of the band conditions, but at least we will be ready for next term.
Good. Well, it's all in the effort. It's all in the effort. As long as you make the effort, it's all good. You have no control over what the bands or propagations do, but you're not going to make contacts unless you don't do the effort. So the effort is everything.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, Ben. Well, thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben. Good luck.
Yep. Nice talking to you guys.
Cool. You too.
Bye.
812-638-4261 is the phone number. 812-NET-HAM1, or you can Skype us or tweet us at Ham Talk Live, and let's check the tweets here. Oh, and Eric says he'll definitely do that, and did flashcards with his dad back when he was 12, and PowerPoints are big now, so yeah. Yeah, well, when I did it when I was 5, and we had these little square notepad things.
Yeah,
and Mom would type them up and put them on there, but that was before we had all these questions published and everything.
I started studying. I got licensed in 95 at the age of 35, but 20 years previous to that, at the age of 15, is when I started studying ham radio in 1975. And, there was no computer-aided anything back then. So it was all books and, going to a local ham at his house at a class every night. And the reason that it took me 20 years to get it was not because I'm a particularly slow learner, which, may be debatable, but I like to say I was overcome by fumes back then.
Yep.
Exhaust fumes and perfume. Girls in cars at the age of 15, one must prioritize. And so yes. I did. And then, started a career in broadcasting and got married or started a career in broadcasting, moved to New Orleans, and then got married to a girl from New Orleans. And then we're going somewhere with her uncle, and he's got this little handheld radio. And I said, "Oh, is that for your work?" He said, "No, that's ham radio." And I said, "Wow." I mean, they were, the handhelds weren't very small in 75, if you even ever saw one. And
they were pretty rare at that point.
Yeah, he said you should think about getting your license. And I said, well, I was actually trying that 20 years ago. He says, well, no time like the present, and so there you go.
And now we have got
involved with Amateur Radio Newsline immediately. We had a Young Ham of the Year award from '93. In New Orleans, and I'm on the repeater one afternoon driving home from work, and he jumps on, Kevin Boudreau, N5XMH. He jumps on and says, "Hey, have you given any thought to going to the Huntsville Ham Fest?" I said, well, I didn't even know they had a Ham Fest in Huntsville. So he said, well, yeah, that's where they do the Newsline Young Ham of the Year award, and I'd like to go. I'm looking for a ride. I was wondering if you were going. I'd be more than happy to, split gas and hotel or whatever. I said, yeah, you know what, let's go. So he introduced me to Bill Pasternak, and I guess the rest is history. I jumped in. I didn't even hit the frying pan. I just jumped right into the fire. It seems like.
Yeah, you did. So, you jumped right in, and your voice was going out on Newsline via cassette tape and FedEx.
That's exactly right. He would email me when email was new for me. He would email me a script. I would cut it at work on a 1/4-inch reel-to-reel machine, and then edit it together with razor blade and splice tape, and then record that over to cassette or send him a small reel, either way, FedEx it back to California, where he would put it on via telephone lines. and that's how you got it back in the day. And of course, now it's all Dropbox and MP3 and websites, and it's a brave new world.
Yes, it is, and a whole lot easier.
Yeah, and a lot less expensive. No FedEx every week.
Yeah,
so
I'm telling you. 812-638-4261 is the Teleo phone number, and we'll be here to take your calls for a few more minutes here tonight, or you can tweet us at Ham Talk Live. We're with Don Wilbanks tonight, AE5DW, talking about some youth recognitions and awards and opportunities. And Don, there at Huntsville, you kind of got drug into this with Bill, and so you come up and you see this 5 foot tall cardboard Don Wilbanks.
Well, yeah. Well, that was in Xenia.
Well, it was in both places.
Well, I know, but I saw it first in Xenia, and yeah, I walk up behind the. We had a booth. Newsline had a booth that was shared with Heil Sound. So many thanks to Bob Heil for allowing us to do that. And so I look down, and there's a trash bag, and laying there, and my legs from the knee down are sticking out of it. I'm like, what in the heck is going on here? So I pick it up, and I realize what it is. It's a cardboard stand-up, and I take it out of the trash bag, and there it is, a picture of me in Dayton several years ago, standing there in my kilt, and of course, I have you to blame for that, but there were others. That was just the beginning of the fun, because there were faces. There was Flat Don on a Stick, several versions, one of which actually the cardboard stand-up and one of those Flat Don on a Stick faces actually live in my production room at work. So people come in and I'm standing there. It's funny because my cardboard cutout is standing right next to one of Jennifer Nettles, who, if you don't know who Jennifer Nettles is, she's an extremely attractive, very talented country singer. She was with Sugarland. And so there's a cardboard cutout of her. And so I'm standing there next to Jennifer Nettles up next to my wall, and people come in and they do a double take when they see that. It's as funny as it can be. It's quite the conversation starter. And of course, I have Mardi Gras beads around its neck, so it's even
of course,
it's even more fun. Yeah,
of course.
They always tell me that Jennifer should be the one with the beads, but
that may be true. Well, yeah, you have me to blame for that, and I'll put some of the blame on Julie because she did the hard work. I did all the digital work, and she did all the hard work.
Don't you mean Saint Julie for putting up with you?
Yes, Saint Julie. Yes, exactly.
Saint Julie.
Exactly.
I love Julie. She's such a sweetheart. You guys make like the cutest couple.
She cut all that stuff out and glued it all.
Couple of what? I have no idea.
We don't know, but yep, exactly. we don't know, but she keeps getting on me about, well, you never have me on the show.
Yeah, why don't you have Julie on the show?
And it's like I can talk about stuff. I'm like, but the only thing you know about ham radio is what you've learned from being around me.
Well,
that's like, but I should be on the show.
Interesting subject in itself. That could be an interesting, because she's not licensed, is she?
No, she's not.
No. Okay. Well, there you go. That could be a view from outside looking into the world of the world's youngest ham when you were licensed, and a person who has grown up to be a chemistry teacher, and a person who has started and takes care of the Bloomington High School South Amateur Radio Club and has won School Club Roundup several times, and then started this podcast among many, many other things. That would be an interesting show, Neil, from the outside looking in to the world of Neil Rapp. I think that'd be an interesting show. I'd listen to that. I'm not going to listen to this one because, I don't want to hear me. I don't want to hear my own commercials. That's why I don't listen to my radio stations at work. It's like, I'm sick of hearing me. But
exactly. It's like, we got Jack Dominic, the director of the National Voice of American Museum of Broadcasting, to cut the ad for them, so that way I don't have to listen to myself more.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah. And we hear enough of Dawn and I talking back and forth, so, you know.
Yeah, which is why I'm not even about to offer my services to you, because nobody wants to hear more of me. Certainly not me. I don't want to hear any more of me, so.
Well, I couldn't resist putting the picture up that you were totally beside yourself to be on the show tonight. So.
It's a funny picture. That's a funny picture.
Yeah, that was good. So thanks again to Kevin for letting me
good stuff.
Letting me use that. And we had a picture there from Huntsville last year from the Young Ham of the Award, Young Ham of the Year award ceremony, and a picture of you and Tyler terrorizing the hotel hallway, Tyler in his pig suit.
Yeah, and his little friend Simon from New Zealand. I get up one morning and the hotel room is empty. I'm in there alone, and I'm like, what? Where is he? I get on the radio and I call him. No, that's right. He wasn't licensed in May. That's right. So I get on the cell phone and I call him. I'm like, where are you? He says, I'm down in the lobby eating waffles with Simon. I said, oh, good. I'm so glad you both found a little friend.
Now Simon's coming back.
You should have Simon on the show. Simon is an interesting cat. Simon is a very interesting guy from New Zealand. I can't remember his call sign, but no, you should have Simon on the show. Simon is would be an interesting show.
Well, he's staying at the hotel again with some of the Newsline crew.
There you go.
Again this year, so yeah, he'll be around.
I wish I could go. So School Club Roundup. School Club Roundup is what?
School Club Roundup.
It ends tomorrow. Is that what it is?
Ends
Friday?
Tomorrow at 6:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay.
And so we've got a few more hours to get a bunch of contacts tomorrow. And
I was off work on Tuesday for Mardi Gras Day, so that was my day to make School Club Roundup contacts. And I've got K9SOU in the log. I've got KD4TGR, which is the McConnell Amateur Radio Club. I've got that in, and I've got the Schofield Middle School in for SMS. And
yes.
If I can get home in time early enough to make some contacts, I need to work on getting my radio remoted so I can operate from work in New Orleans back to my station here at home, 65 miles away. I don't have that set up yet, but hopefully I'll be able to make a contact or two before it all shuts down tomorrow night if I get home in time.
Well, since we got the 7300, I can remote to my classroom now because our ham shack is actually up in the penthouse, and I can't.
Right.
I got to go up there, and we're in final exam season right now. So,
right.
Luckily, I can remote in. It's so nice to be able to do that. Well, Dawn, the time has passed again.
Well,
we're out of time.
That's both a curse and a blessing sometimes.
Yep. Well, thanks for coming back on the show, and
thanks for having me. This is fun.
Always, you're welcome anytime, and we'll do it again. And
thank you
next week
for
we're going to talk a little hamvention.
Thank you for all the efforts that you put out for Newsline. Your voice is well appreciated on Newsline. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate all your video and representing us well. So. Great stuff. So tune in. We got another new one in the can for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, arnewsline.org, it'll be there.
Yep.
And,
yes, it will.
You can listen to the latest amateur radio news. Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, and everyone out there in cyberspace for listening and calling in. And invite you back next Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, when Michael Coulter, WHCI, will be here to talk about the latest changes for the upcoming Dayton Hamvention. And for a list of all of our upcoming guests, visit hamtalklive.com. And we also released the information about our live show at Dayton. We're going to have traffic, weather, parking, you name it. It's get ready for your trip to Dayton. So make sure you check that out. We'll be talking more about that as it gets closer. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.